Hello, this is Mrs. White, and we're going to do some revision on time. So we're going to just go through all the things that we learnt last year in Year 3, just to make sure that we have a good grasp of time, ready for when we do some time work this year. Right, I'm just going to cover quickly months and years, how many hours in a day, the past times and the to times, and that's working out to 5 minutes and to 1 minute times, estimating time, then finding, comparing durations of time, finding end and start times, and measuring time in seconds. My best advice for you on this video is to just listen to a little bit and then stop it and go over things that you want to go over. There's going to be a few times where I'm going to ask you to have a go, so stop it, find your answers, and then start the video again, and then you can find out if your answers are correct. And don't feel you have to do all of this in one day. You can just do it over a couple of days, but it's a really nice way to do revision. Well done. I'm going to take my picture off now, and then we can just concentrate on the screen. So here's some of the language that we're working on at the moment as well, and these are the words that we need to remember. Some of the important ones: duration, to find out how long something lasts for; estimate, sort of like an educated guess. We've got a digital clock, and we've also got, we know that we can have 12-hour clocks or 24-hour clock, and then an analog clock, which is like the clocks that we have, the round clocks, and like a clock that we see here. And this is showing us the past time, which we'll go over a bit later on, and to time. Right, just to understand time as a whole concept, we're going to start with a year, and we know that there's 12 months in a year, and there's 365 days in a year, or 366 days if it's a leap year, and we know there is a leap year every 4 years. What we do need to know is, for our 12 months, how many days are there in each month? And we know that it varies, and it can be 28 or 29, which we know is February. So February is 28 for 3 years, and then on a leap year it's 29. And then all the other months are either 30 or 31. There's 2 different ways to work this out, and here we have the way where we can use our knuckles to work it out, or I'm going to use this poem. So this poem says 30 days has September, April, June, and November. So if we have a look over here, we can check it. April, yeah, June, yeah, September, and November. So that works for the poem. All the rest have 31, January, March, May, July, August, October, and December, except in February alone, so just February, which has 28 days clear and 29 every leap year. So now we know 12 months in a year and 365 days in a year, or 366 for a leap year. Right, now let's look at a day. There are 24 hours in a day, and that is starting the day at midnight and it ends at midnight. So we start our day from midnight. So that means that the middle of the day is going to be 12 hours later, which is half of 24. So 12 noon is the middle of the day, even though it's not the middle of our day if we don't get up until 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Our middle of the day feels a bit later than that. Our day might last from, say, 6, 7 in the morning until about 8 or 9 at night, but the whole day is 24 hours. We also know that a morning, when we're reading times from an analog clock, we tend to write them as AM, or even on a digital clock, if it's a 12-hour, it's AM, and that stands for anti-meridian. Okay, so that's AM, and the afternoon, so anti-meridian, go back to that, is before midday, and the afternoon or evening is PM, and that's post-meridian, so after midday. 24 hours in a day. There are 60 minutes in an hour, and we do know that, and I'll prove that when we look at a clock, but we need to remember 60 minutes in an hour, and just the same, there is 60 minutes 60 seconds in 1 minute. There we are. So there are all our facts. Right, this is about telling the time. All right, and I'm just going to find a tool that I've just learnt from Mrs. Blake that we have to draw with. We have the longer hand. Right, so just going to show that one. So this is our long hand, and this is our minute hand. And this tells us how many minutes have gone past or going to in the hour. And then we have a shorter hand, which here is the black one here. And that shorter is our hour hand. And the interesting thing about the hour hand is it takes 1 whole hour, 60 minutes, to travel from 1 hour to the next one. So if we started at 1 o'clock, the hand would be pointing directly at the 1. And then 60 minutes later, it will have traveled down just towards the 2. So we can see this hand at the moment, well, it's not really halfway there, is it? That would be more like halfway. It's more like really a quarter of the way round. So it's about 1:15 just by looking at that hour hand. And now let's look at the minute hand and just check how many minutes it's passed. We know it's this side and we know it's passed. So we'll do that. So from the 12 starts at 0, 5, 10, 15 minutes. So it is 15 minutes past 1. You can also see with the clock that it's split into quarters. Sorry, but my line's not being very straight. So here's the quarter in our clock. And we can see that when both hands are up here, it's o'clock. When the minute hand is here, it's quarter of the way around. So it's quarter past, because it's the past sign. When the minute hand is down here, we know it's halfway round. So it's half past the hour. And then when it's quarter here, we say that it's this way, 1:45. It's going to take it 15 minutes, a quarter of it, 1:45 the next hour. So that's how we use that, working well. I'll just get rid of all of this nice and quickly. Brilliant. We know that each of these numbers represents 5 minutes. So we start at 12 and we know that's 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So that proves that there are 60 minutes in an hour. Well done. We'll now move on. So telling the time in 5-minute slots. So again, I'm going to get my pen, really impressed with. So this way, when we're going down here, we start from the 12, and this is all the minutes past the hour. So going this way is past. Okay, so if we have a minute hand that's on the 5, we know it's on the 1, I apologise, on the 1, we know it's 5 minutes past an hour. If the minute hand is pointing to the 2, we know it's 10 minutes past the hour. And you can see that here with this clock. So it's 5, then 2, 10 minutes, 3, 15 minutes, or quarter past, 20 minutes and 25 minutes on the 5. So any of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all past the hour because it's half past. So at the moment, we've got our hand is between the 1 and 2. The minute hand is on the 5, so we can say it's 25 minutes past 1. When we look at this side, it's to the hour. And we're again going to look at the 12, and it's how many minutes before we get up to the 12. So we'll start here. And this hand, I'm going to say this hand at the moment is pointing at the 10 here. So that will be our minute hand. So we'll look here, we'll go, that's 5 minutes to 10 minutes to. So that's 10 minutes until it becomes to the hour. So that was if that would be the minute hand. And here you can see on this clock that we have got this minute hand is on the 8. So if we have a look here, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes before it gets to an hour. So it's 22, and the hour hand is between 5 and 6. So it's 20 minutes before it gets to 6. So it's 20 minutes to 6 o'clock. Right. Get rid of this again. That's good. And now we will move on. Oh, just erase that for me. Brilliant. So here we have telling the time in minutes. So this one is, again, when instead of working in 5 minutes, this one is not actually quite at the 5 minutes. So if I just look at that, I would draw a line for the minute hand. It's not very straight, I'm sorry, but here we can see it's there. So I'm going to work out how many minutes it's past, because it's on the past side. We can see that the hour hand is just left the 4, so it's something past 4 o'clock. So if I work it out here, I'm going to do one jump here. I know that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes past 4. So that's how I'd work that one out. This one is the to the hour, we can see here. So we can see that it's the hour hands between the 4 and the 5. So that works really well. So, and I can see that this hour hand has travelled quite far away past the 4 and is going towards the 5. So it's 2, 5, and we know that because it's on this side of the clock. So if we have a look here, I'm going to start here. I'm going to find how many minutes to. Before I do that, I'm going to draw a straight line from my minute hand. Excuse this line, it's not going to be very straight, but if I was carrying on from here, I would draw it carrying on, and it would be roughly there. So I'm going to look at this. 5, 10, 11 minutes. So it's 11 minutes to 5. So I'm going to erase this. And then we can stop that. So I've gone through at the moment telling the time past the hour and to the hour. And I've decided I'm going to just leave this video with some questions. So you can just freeze this page and write down the answers. And then for the next video that I'm going to do, then I will give you the answers to these questions. Thank you very much, and I look forward to giving you the answers and catching up with you later on.